So hello, I'm Mark from First Class Coaching Solutions. I help family businesses to avoid conflict, make more money and plan for a better future. So one of the tools that I use within my measure program as a 7-step process, right at the beginning we look at some behavioural styles and we also look at motivations. And this is a section I call the mirror. The mirror is called the mirror because it's like looking at yourself, not actually seeing your face, but actually seeing your behaviours and your motivations. That when they come back at you and you're able to look at them in a different way, then it gives you a different perspective on what's going on, and more importantly, what you can use that information to maybe change behaviours. Look at what motivates you and make sure that what you do is fulfilling those motivations wherever possible. So this is going to be a quick run through of what a motivational map is. A motivational map is a 15-page report. It takes about 15 minutes to complete online, and you get the report straight away. So this is the first page. Just obviously this is mine. It has my name on it, and it tells me I'm purposeful, independent, and insightful. We will talk a bit more about what that is about in a minute. It's all connected with my top 3 motivations. There we are. That's the contents of the whole report. We won't hang about there too long. Then first of all, the first thing we talk about is the where motivational maps came from, and what they're based on is 3 tools. Firstly, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is quite well known and taught quite extensively in schools and in university. Edgar Schein's career anchors, not quite so well known, but it's a similar study around what people like to do at work. And the personality profiling tool of the Enneagram, which is again, it's a personality profile, and those 3 tools was what James Sale, who created Motivational Maps, used to create the tool as it is now. So you'll see on this diagram that there are 3 clusters of 3 motivations. The green motivations are the relationship motivations. The friend, the defender, and the star. The achievement motivations are the builder, director, and expert. And the growth motivations are the spirit, creator, and searcher. So what do those 9 motivations, what are they all about? So I'll just quickly run through what they are. The defender motivation is about seeking security, predictability, and stability. The friend is about seeking belonging, friendship, fulfilling relationships at work. The star is about seeking recognition, respect, and social esteem. Moving on to achievement motivations, the director is the motivation to seek power, influence, control over people and resources. The builder motivation is the motivation to seek money, material satisfaction, and above average living standard. And the expert is the motivation to seek knowledge, mastery, and specialization. And then the 3 growth motivations. The creator seeks innovation, identifies with new, expresses creative potential. The spirit seeks freedom, independence, and makes own decisions. And the creator seeks meaning, makes a difference, and provides worthwhile things. So that's the 9 motivations grouped into 3 groups of 3. We then move on to the executive summary, which is where we first of all group the 3 motivation or clusters together to give us an overall view of what the focus is for this individual. So this is my motivational map. So my focus is on growth, which means that I am looking for opportunities to be the best I can be, and anything that comes about that offers me that, whether it's opportunities for more creativity, more freedom, or more making a difference, they're my strongest motivations, and that's what pushes me forward. It's not good or bad. It's no, but what you'll see in my particular case, as I'm growth focused, and that's my dominant cluster, it could be said that I may be missing out on maybe things that are already here, opportunities that are already here, achievement-wise, and maybe my relationships, I'm not paying enough attention to important relationships. It might not be the case, but that could be possibly what's happening. So then we move on to the 9 motivations to work. We all have them. We have a combination of all 9 within us, and you'll see that my strongest motivation with the highest score is the searcher. So that means I want to make a difference and feel that what I do is worthwhile. My second biggest motivational score is the spirit. So that's the motivation for freedom, autonomy. So I like to work in my own way and in my own time without too much management from above. And my third strongest motivation is the expert. So I like to be a specialist in what I do and have the knowledge and mastery that goes with that. So the first question we would ask if we were doing a motivational map feedback of whether these actually fit the role. And for me, they fit perfectly, because I feel that what I do, being a family business coach, I help family businesses to I help them make a difference. And what I do makes a difference. I do it my own way. I don't follow a set procedure that somebody else has told me to do. And also I feel that I'm an expert in what I do because I have certain qualifications and accreditations that help me to deliver a good service. So that's really important to me. And then we tend to look then to the lowest motivation. So my lowest motivation is the director. So the thing I least want to do is to be in a position of power and influence over others and also over assets. So the point here is not that I can't really avoid it completely, but it's trying to make sure that I don't spend too much time doing it because it's not motivational. And because my score is quite low, you could say that it's actually, if I do too much of it, it will become demotivational. So it's something that I need to look out for. So that's my profile. Everyone's different, and every feedback session is slightly different in that everybody has a different profile. So I help interpret the reports so that the coachee can make some decisions based on it. So moving on to subsequent pages, you get a page for your top 3 motivations with some strategies. You'll see the search motivation here. There's three strategies that I could put in place. The same for the spirit and the same for the expert. So the thing about the motivation map that people like is that there is actions that they can take straight away without having to hang around and wait for somebody else to tell them. They can actually read their report, understand what it means, and then actually take some action, which should help them with their motivation. We also give a page for the lowest motivation, just as a warning to make sure that that isn't causing a problem, and making sure that because it's your lowest motivation, that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. There are other people. So in my instance, director is my lowest. There will be people that need to be in charge, need to be in a position of authority, and obviously that's really important for businesses. So it's not that it's a bad thing. It's about having the right person in the right role. And obviously, if you're a decision maker, it's good to have a motivation to be in charge and being in a position of authority. So then it goes on to give a typical story for the top motivation. It does state here quite clearly that the story below is not your story. So it's just some more information about that top motivation which could be useful so that you can make decisions based on it. And also, if there's anything in there that doesn't really resonate, then it's just best to ignore it and not take it on board. But there's some quite useful information in that. And then we come to the motivational score. Well, this is obviously some key information here. There's three things to look at. Firstly, in the yellow box, we get a motivational score. So in my case, it's 83%, which is, if you look to this point here, you'll see that on the sliding scale, I'm in this optimal zone. So over 80% is the optimal zone. So for me, the challenge is to maintain that motivation and keep aware of what the things are that are important to me. You'll see there's three other sections here. From 60 to 80, we call that the boost zone. So the motivation, there's opportunities to boost it by looking at the top three motivations, how they can be met or fulfilled in a better way. Then we look at the risk zone here. 35 to 60% is where your motivation could either be slipping away, or we might just be catching it at the right time to bring it back into the boost zone. And then below 35%, that's really where the action zone, that really is where something drastic has to happen, because motivation level is pretty rock bottom. So it's a clear indication of what action needs to be taken. And you'll see down the bottom here, these are my top three motivations and what I scored them out of 10. So my searcher I scored 8 out of 10, my spirit 9 out of 10, and my expert 8 out of 10. So those combined give me a score, my motivational score of 83%. And then, as with any good report, there's an opportunity to take some action. So this is the motivational action plan. We can set some goals and we can decide what we're going to do, how we're going to do them, and also put a time scale on it and when we're going to do it by. It gives us something to measure so that we can look back after a while and see what we've done. And an important point I'd say about Motivational Map, it's not something to read and put in this drawer. It's something that you should check in with now and again, and maybe every 6 months do another motivational map and see how things have changed, see how your motivations may have changed, and also see how the fulfillment level of those top three motivations has changed. So the final page, we get a final thought. This is the Cleedon. This is randomly put into each report, and you get some contact details. This is my report generated from my system, so it has my details on it. So hopefully that's been useful. If you'd like to know anything more about motivational maps, please get in contact. My website is www.firstclasscoachingsolutions.com, and that's a number 1 ST and not the word first. There's contact details there, all sorts of information about what I do and how motivational maps are part of other stuff I do. But please get in contact just to have a chat, and hopefully I will speak to you very soon.